Prophet Marshall Occurrence back up in this. So, this video is going to be about these witchcraft people, psychic people, telepath people, trying to put on for Satan or trying to put on for witchcraft. And when I say put on, that means represent, right? Trying to represent, you know. You can represent your city. You know, Young Jeezy coined that term, put on. You know, he the one started that. You can put on for your city. So you can, I want to say it so you can see exactly the context I'm talking about. You can put on for your city. You can put on for your community. You can put on for your neighborhood. But putting on for witchcraft is a whole different game. You see what I'm saying? You can't put on for witchcraft and come out here and play with people and then think nothing ain't gonna happen to the community. You tried to put on for witchcraft and played yourself, buddy. That's exactly how they need to hear it, because see, we're dealing with a new generation of witchcraft. And they influenced by hip hop, they influenced by all this stuff that we influenced by. You see what I'm saying? So they got this pull up mentality. Like, I'm coming for you and I'm gonna pull up. You can't pull up with witchcraft. You can't do drive-bys with witchcraft without repercussions. So what happened to your American community is you got people that was influenced by the culture, like they coming for people, and they gonna come for people, and they gonna pull up on somebody using witchcraft now. Not pulling up physically with a pistol or a gun, or or a weapon. Nah, pulling up with witchcraft. And what happened when you do that? An old witch gonna tell you this. An old witch gonna tell you, all that energy that you putting out gotta go somewhere. If you come out here with that new mentality, like you a world star rapper or something, and you want to use witchcraft like Gangbangers, all that energy, a old witch gonna tell you. I'm smart enough as a Christian to know this. A old witch gonna tell you all that energy gotta go somewhere. This is the spiritual world. This is not the physical world where you could be a punk and it don't matter to nobody. You could be a sucker and we sweep it under the rug. Okay, we sweep the suckery under the rug, right? We sweep this lame stuff under the rug. You use witchcraft, and you paid other witches to use witchcraft, like you was the streets using witchcraft. That's how people need to hear it. They act like they was a block using witchcraft. Because you influenced by the culture, you influenced by the present day culture. So mix that with witchcraft. How they gonna act? They gonna act like they pulling up with witchcraft, like they spinning the block with witchcraft. All the terms, you know all the terms. Like they spinning the block with witchcraft, right? Right. And then an old witch gonna tell you, yo, you can't. You gotta pay for that. That energy is gonna go somewhere. And when it comes for me, as a prophet, it's gonna bounce right off of me. It's gonna bounce right off of me, right? And so it's gonna go somewhere else. And so when you used all this witchcraft against me and you put me in a witchcraft neighborhood like I'm stupid, this is a whole witchcraft neighborhood. You put me in a witchcraft neighborhood and you didn't think nothing was going to happen to Brooklyn. You didn't think nothing would happen to Brooklyn for you putting me in a witchcraft neighborhood. You see what I'm saying? It's a corny perspective. I'm trying to show you what it is, man. Even though I got little jokes here and there, I want you to, and I'm colorful with what I say, I want you to really listen to what I'm saying, man. Because this is serious. This is the truth. With my personality, sometimes everybody's waiting for the punchline. You know what I'm saying? But while you digesting the punchline, listen to the information, man. These people used witchcraft like they was gangbangers. You can't use witchcraft like gangbangers. That's what made them lame, man. That's what made them lame. They tried to use witchcraft like they the streets. Like they the streets. Like they the streets. They try to use witchcraft like they the streets. It don't work like that, bro. That's what I'm trying to show you. That energy gotta go somewhere. It ain't just, I just use witchcraft and it didn't work. It don't work like that. When that energy is sent out and it don't work with me, it's gonna work with your community. It's gonna work with Brooklyn. It's gonna work on black people or Hispanic or Latinos, whoever sent it out. It's gonna work on your tribe of people. It's gonna hit you. It's gonna go back and hit what you love. This is how this works. No, this needs to be said because it's like a whole community of people who work witchcraft like they gangbangers. Like you pulling up on somebody. You can't use witchcraft like you pulling up on somebody, bro. You can't use witchcraft like I'm spinning the block. I'ma spin the block with witchcraft. You can't use witchcraft like that. Because even I know, and that's not even my side, I understand spiritual reciprocity. That's all I need to understand. Karma and spiritual reciprocity. That energy gotta go somewhere. It ain't gonna dissolve because it didn't work. Spirits is gonna regroup and that they gonna get something done because of that. That's like sending out a fire and the fire don't hit me, but it's gonna burn something else. It's gonna burn something else. Okay, so it's certain people that have pride in witchcraft. It's certain people who have this pride in witchcraft like it's your religion. And with that being said, you would think you can come and spin the block with pride for witchcraft. With pride for witchcraft, which I don't care nothing about. People will come up and act like they can spin the block about it. And that mentality is it's gonna backfire witchcraft everywhere. It's gonna backfire witchcraft all over this community, and that's what happened to you. That's what happened. You tried to use witchcraft and you didn't know what you was doing. You did not know what you was doing. See, an amateur witch will use witchcraft just as they want to, how they feel, and they don't understand the rules and regulations. You can't use witchcraft like a thug, like a Tupac. You can't use witchcraft like you Pac. That's how you need to hear it. And see, what did it to you was the culture mixed with this mentality and pride and arrogance for witchcraft, which I don't care nothing about. You can't bring it my way without paying for it. And that's just what it is. See, arrogance don't mean nothing to me. I don't care if you're an arrogant person. I don't care if you are, what other word I want to use? A sassy person. Who cares? I'm a heterosexual man. You know how many sassy women I dealt with? I deal with sassy women. I don't care. In other words, this is what term I wanted to use. I don't care about your attitude. I deal with women. Do you know what dealing with a woman is like? Witchcraft. If you get a bad woman, it's like dealing with witchcraft, buddy. Ask a real man. I kind of already dealt with witchcraft. You get a woman that mean you bad, playing games with you, it's very similar to witchcraft. Ask a man that. She wishing bad, acting weird, acting strange. You ain't never had a woman like that? She acting strange and weird and acting like she want to hurt you and doing little weird underhanded stuff. That's an attitude that many men have to deal with from women. So if you dated a whole bunch of women, you have already kind of dealt with like I'm just being honest. You kind of have already dealt with like this witchcraft like spirit. We don't care nothing about that. That's the difference between masculinity and femininity. And I'm not sexist, but I'm being real. Like, if you ain't gonna do nothing physically, I could treat you like a female. You could do all the yapping you want to, buddy. And guess what? I'm gonna sit right here. You can say whatever you want. If you're a good man, you know that. A woman call you a punk, everything, a sucker, everything. You know you're not, but they'll say all that stuff, and you gotta sit there and take it. Might put hands on you, might do. I mean, you ain't trying to go to jail. They might do all this stuff to you. You gotta sit there and take it. So basically, my point is that most men have already dealt with the attitude that is similar, with an attitude that's similar to witchcraft. We already dealt with it. We're dealing with women. A feminine vindictive spirit. A feminine vindictive spirit is very similar to a witchcraft spirit, and I know that for sure. A vindictive, not just a feminine spirit, a vindictive feminine spirit is very similar to witchcraft. Like the saying goes, hell knows no fury more than a woman scorned, right? Hell knows no fury like a woman scorned, right? So when a woman is scorned, it's like witchcraft. In America, ask these men, when a woman is scorned, it's like witchcraft, ain't it? Well, I mean, first you gotta probably be a spiritual person to understand that. If you a spiritual person that was a ladies' man and you dated a lot of women, but then you became a spiritual person, did you notice? I don't know if you noticed. Maybe this is the first time you heard it, and maybe you now need to see and pay attention. Like, if you was a ladies' man and you became a spiritual person, don't you notice that when a woman is scorned, you experience that, right? Isn't that very similar to the attitude of witchcraft? It's the same thing, basically. And we don't care. And just like you was when you was with a woman, you maintain your cool, right? You maintain who you was. That's what we gonna do as a grown man, bro. That's why I told you, man. I don't have the mentality of a gay guy. A gay guy would be lashing out every time. Like, I'm a grown man. I'm gonna listen. I'm gonna treat you like a scorned female. Those who work witchcraft, I'm gonna treat you like scorned females. It's the same energy. It's like a scorned female. That's what it is. And then you gotta have the same self-control and everything with it. I just gave you, listen, you see that intellectual property? You see what I just gave you? You gotta practice the same self-control with the attitude of witchcraft that you had with the attitude of a vindictive, scorned woman. And like I said, that's not a sexist statement. That's a real statement. It's the same thing. It's very, very similar. If you know how women can be when they're vindictive, it's absolutely very, very similar. Some would say a scorned woman is worse than a witch because she gonna do physical stuff. She gonna do physical stuff. Like messing up your car, all kind of stuff, playing with your social media, all kind of stuff. So actually, some would say it's a little worse. From understanding the physical aspect versus the spiritual aspect, they gonna manifest stuff right away. So, most real men, we already dealt, little do you know, man, dealing with scorned women, you already got a one-on-one with kind of the attitude that's similar to witchcraft, Yeah, I mean, yeah. I'm gonna do a whole video on that in the future. So, you can't put on for witchcraft. That's what we establishing, man. And I'm not saying this for the people who use it. I'm saying this for the people that's watching and seeing what's going on. So you can judge it like I'm judging it. So I'm not actually, if you think I'm talking to these people, I'm actually talking to you. I'm talking to the listener. I'm talking to the person that's not using it. You know what I'm saying? They can't use witchcraft like they spinning the block, like they want to be thugs and gangsters. Or it's now finally your time to be a thug and a gangster, and you're going to do it through witchcraft. It ain't going to work, little buddy. See, you tried that too. You tried to play the position like you was the streets, right? But the problem was you didn't have rules and regulations. You didn't have rules and regulations. You didn't understand rules and regulations. It take a long time. You gotta have at least, like school, you gotta at least have a consistent 4 years of understanding different types of people, understanding your surroundings, understanding how to navigate where you get respect and you not detected as a prey. And it's an art to it, not being a prey and not being a pushover or prey, and also not violating nobody at the same time. It's like you got to know what you're doing, because as soon as you start violating people, no one cares about you saying you're real, because everybody's real. Let's just look at it like everybody's real, right? The next step is, okay, we all know we're real. Okay, but you're making mistakes. You're real, but you're making mistakes. Okay, so then those are violations that you still have to be punished for. You know what I'm saying? It's like, see, some people don't understand. Just being real don't mean you ain't gonna get punished. If you out in the streets, people gonna feel. I mean, you make mistakes. It don't matter if you're real. You gotta get punished. It's that simple. And you're no exception to the rules. These people using witchcraft, I don't know what made you feel that you battered in the streets. Because you think, I guess because at face value you using witchcraft, you feel like you're a more darker person. Well, I don't care about being dark. I really don't. I don't care about being dark. I care about weapons. You know what I'm saying? And that's the highest level to us out here. All that mumbo jumbo. That's why I even said even a woman surpasses a witch. A vindictive woman surpasses a witch. That's the punchline. I just told you, and that's a revolution. Listen, man, a vindictive woman is worse. Why? Because she will do something physically. You out here like Harry Potter. You out here. We don't care nothing about you being vindictive and bitter. Ask a black person. They gonna say, I don't even care. I don't care about you being vindictive. So what? You did it to yourself. Who you mad at, me or yourself, like I like to say? Who you mad at, me or yourself? You should be mad at yourself. See, you didn't think I was sharp. You didn't think I was New York sharp. Listen, it's a lot of issues between me and this city. And the main one is they joined you witchcraft bastards and took your money and to gang stalk me. New York participated in collective gang stalking against me. That's my main problem with them. And that's why I don't even try to reflect my New York flair as much as I used to. But it doesn't mean I'm not New York strong. I lived in too many boroughs. I lived in Staten Island. I know about Staten Island, where Wu-Tang from. Shaolin. I lived in Shaolin and Park Hill, right? Not in the shelter. Not in the shelter. I had a roommate that I stayed with in Staten Island, not the shelter. Because if I don't say that, every time I say I live somewhere, you're going to think absolutely it's the shelter. Absolutely. Well, when I stayed in Park Hill, I wasn't across the street from the Home Depot, and people know what I'm talking about in Park Hill. Okay, when I stayed in front of the park, the neighborhood in front of the Home Depot, that neighborhood across the street with the park, past the park, I stayed in that neighborhood right there on that block, straight from Home Depot, straight down that first street, past the park, on that same street on the left, right? You know, I didn't stay at a shelter. So, man, what you need to realize is, man, you bit off more you can chew in the real world. You bit off more you can chew. And no one cares about your psychological games and antics. Nobody's acknowledging that anymore. And I'm dangerous because I know you're desperate. And as long as you're desperate, I'm going to be dangerous. See how I fight fire with fire. I'm not the person to sit there and watch you get more dangerous. More desperate. And I not become more dangerous. Okay, so that's why I keep it on me at all times. Even when I'm going to the shower, when I'm going to cook my food, you don't know I got it on me at all times. Most of the times, I'm never really slipping. Okay, I'd rather be like that and train myself, and I have trained myself quite well to be like that, and to be ready even in close quarters. I'm ready in close quarters, like even this. You can't pull no wool over my eyes. You don't gotta believe in me. Just believe in what you see and what you don't see. That's what you believe in, sucker. You believe in what you see and you don't see. Your brain ain't nothing in this situation. Okay, to describe me. We don't care about you. Okay, you can't trigger me. I'm smarter than that. I'm a veteran. I already know what the triggers, and I'm past those levels. What you need to be concerned about is that when I leave New York City, they gonna want to get you, everybody like you. All the people that's in these secret witchcraft communities, they gonna want to take care of all of y'all. Okay? That's what's gonna happen to you. There is no mercy. It's the difference between me and you. See, that's why I gotta get away from you. So I want people to understand the difference between me and you. You know what I mean? I gotta differentiate the difference. They gotta understand the difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I size you up as posers and they gonna have all the paraphernalia. It don't mean they ain't got no guns. It don't mean they don't they gonna have drugs, guns, and everything. Still posers, man. They still posers, which means they ain't gonna have what it takes. Putting a gun in your hand don't mean you got what it takes. It's a lot of other stuff that come with it, buddy. And if you ain't built like that, you gonna be the person breaking down when you kill somebody. I done met killers who cried when they killed somebody. You ever met a killer that said he cried when he killed somebody? That's how you know who been around killers. People don't kill people and then celebrate like you would think you was gonna do. When I met real killers, they told me they cried. They cried when they killed somebody. Because you realize that person is permanently deleted for sure. Right? And it dawns on you. See, I talk through the logistics of the killers. I've talked to the killers through the logistics. Let's talk about that. Let these rappers talk about the logistics of the killers. When people say they kill people and they start crying about it. When you kill somebody, you cry. Huh? You know what I mean? See, that's the logistics of it, buddy. Not that shock rock stuff, Ozzy Osbourne stuff. When you think you're being cool, man, we tired of people like that. I'm tired of you. I never related to people like you. I don't want to start now. Okay, because as dark as you think you are, I've seen tougher than you. I've seen darker than you. And you using witchcraft don't mean you the toughest person I ever seen. I done met a Hell's Angel, man. A real Hell's Angel right here in Brooklyn. White, big old, tall, white veteran military Hell's Angel. You cannot possibly be serious thinking you, by any stretch of the imagination, is the toughest people I've ever seen. All you got is the equivalent of a vindictive woman. That's all you dealing with. The vibes of a vindictive, bitter, butthurt woman. That's it. Especially now, being that all you've done, you definitely is like a vindictive, bitter, butthurt woman. That's all you are to me. And just like you have a vindictive woman, you got to keep your eyes on her. Yes, you do. See, I'm not one of them dudes who sleep on a vindictive woman. I don't sleep on nobody, and that's how I survive. If you think I'm one of them dudes that care about these females and these females can infiltrate me, you got another thing coming, buddy. Women can't infiltrate me. They could try, and they gonna play themselves because I'm gonna treat you just like a man. You play in a man's lane, I'm gonna treat you just like a man. And I don't care how old you are either. I personally don't care. I don't care how old you are. You play in my lane, you could be a senior citizen. You play in my lane, I'm gonna take care of you. Well, if you were so, my logic is, if you were so much of a senior citizen, then why are you playing in my lane? That's my logic. My logic is whatever you claim to be as your excuse, then why didn't that keep you out of my life? Why didn't it keep you out of my life? If it's the excuse that you're using, then why did you end up in my life? That's what I'm saying. You see what I mean? Listen, you a simple-minded person. You shouldn't have ended up in my life. How you end up in my life? So it's you that's simple-minded, not me, buddy. And not me. You the one simple-minded. Well, how you end up in my life? How you end up here? I'm like Deborah Cox, man. Nobody's supposed to be here. I tried that love thing for the last time. My heart says no, no. See, you ain't black. Listen, if you ain't heard that, listen, I doubt your blackness, man. I come from the South, man. That Deborah Cox. Everybody know about all these other singers. What about Deborah Cox, though? I tried that love thing for the last time. Nobody's supposed to be here, buddy. That means until it's like that, until there's no one here playing around me, listen, I'm getting my Deborah Cox on, bruh. I'm getting my Deborah Cox on. Nobody's supposed to be here. You know what nobody means? Nobody. No bodies. No physical bodies supposed to be here. I'm getting my Deborah Cox on, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Nobody's supposed to be here. Okay? So that, listen, man, listen. You thought you had it all and you don't. I'm just telling you like that, buddy. You came out here thinking you was a superstar and played yourself. Right in front of New York will make it so bad. You can't come back from it. You can't come back from it. I came back from everything you was talking about. Now Brooklyn can't say nothing about no children when a 7-month child died. When a 7-month-old child died, y'all can't stand up, talk about no children. And that's the confirmation that I have to go. It proves it. If it's not safe for a 7-month-old child, how is it safe for me? Okay? A 7-month-old child is dead. And what you think, what you talk about? A pedophile. You know what's worse than a pedophile? A man that kills a 7-month-old child. I've been telling y'all this. This is worse. What's worse than somebody thinking about pedophilia? You know what's worse than that? A bum that kills a 7-month-old child, man. That's worse. Even if the child was molested, that still ain't worse than the person that shot and killed the child. And I don't think you understand that as a black community. I don't care what if he sexually molested that same 7-month-old child. That's not worse than killing the child. But in your culture, you're biased towards the shooters and the gangbangers. So guess what? You never come to terms with the fact that these killers that's killing these children is worse than pedophiles because you biased towards the shooters and killers because of the culture of music and hip-hop and thug and gangbanging. If it wasn't for that, you would have been figured out who's the worst in your community. The worst in your community is those people killing children that's 7 months old. And I told y'all, because see, you thought I was talking to the air. Oh, ain't nobody really doing that now. He tripping. Am I tripping now? Right here in Brooklyn, right in the same borough I'm at. And here's my logic. When children start dying, why should we be here now? That's how you know it's the end of the world. When children start dying at 7 months old, it's time to end. It's a lost cause. It's no more world. It's nothing more for us to live for. And if you had the honor codes that you project yourself to have, then you would feel the same way. It's a lost cause. Too many kids died, bro. Think about if that was your child. That person, they probably suicidal right now, and I would see why. And you think they gonna love the streets? No. They gonna hate the streets. They gonna hate thug life and everything. I guarantee you, them parents is gonna hate the streets. They gonna empty their whole playlist. I guarantee you. They ain't gonna listen to everything. They ain't gonna listen to ignorance no more. Shooting up the blocks. They ain't gonna listen to no type of music like that. You think if they lost their child with somebody shooting up the block, you think they gonna sit around and turn around and listen to that type of music? It's gonna be disgusting to them. They ain't gonna want to hear no type of music like that. And this is what I'm talking about. The bottom line is, you could think we cursed you. You could think I cursed you. You could blame it on whoever you want to blame it on. But the bottom line is, you got free will to do what you want to do. Ain't nobody use no charm or witchcraft or even the curse of a prophet to curse you for you to pull that trigger. You chose to pull that trigger on your own. You use your free will to do it. Now I guarantee them dudes ducking off somewhere like they the homies, drunk. They probably drunk. They probably drinking Hennessy, passing out. They know they know it done hit the news already. They done seen themselves on the news already. Of course. You know they gonna watch the news. That's what the criminal gonna do. If you smart, if you smart, you're gonna watch the news. You do a crime like that, you gonna breeze through the news. And once you see yourself on the news, you gonna go get drunk and try to sit around like they the homies. Yeah, man, we messed up, man. Drunk, man, we messed up, man. Should I turn myself in? See, this is the kind of stuff I be thinking about. They sitting around crap-faced drunk. Should I turn myself in? You know they want to. It's over. It's over, man. See, stuff like that. Like I told y'all before, I give a person, if I was the authorities, I'm giving you 20 years with no chance of parole, both of them. You getting 20 years with no chance of parole, no questions asked. That's what you're getting at a minimum. You ain't getting none lower than 20 years with no chance of parole. I've already got videos showing you the perfect laws, excellent law. My law is this. If you are in America and you do a senseless crime like that, you're getting 20 years with no chance of parole. It don't matter what happens. You're not getting out. You can be the best person. You can even become a Christian. You can become a Muslim. You're not getting out. Okay? You're doing 20 years with no chance of parole. You could become a Buddhist. You're going to be a Buddhist in there for 20 years. You're gonna be a Buddha in there for 20 years. If you don't do this as Americans, they gonna continue to do senseless crimes. I'm telling you this. This is the reason why it happens. Because you have not updated the criminal system to hand out real healthy charges to these criminals. As long as you don't do that and you don't affect the psychology of a criminal where he knows he's going to get an extremely big charge for doing a certain type of crime. If you don't affect their psychology by heavy, extreme, intense punishment, severe charges, they're gonna continue to do the crimes they're doing. They're gonna continue to do the crimes they're doing. If I send a law out nationwide, 20 years with no chance of parole for killing kids, all of it's gonna stop overnight. It's a way to you want me to tell you how to change the ghetto overnight? You have to accept that black people have to get extreme punishment. If you're biased and you're a Democrat and you're a biased bastard, you're not going to change the community. Low key, you a biased bastard. And the reason why you're a bastard is because you're biased to a fault. You don't accept it, do you? You a biased bastard. Because if the police had did that, I guarantee you'll be out here marching right now. That's 7 out. You wouldn't care. Listen, you wouldn't care if it was an accident or not. If the police was guilty of killing a 7-month-old child in Brooklyn, they'd be marching all around Brooklyn tonight. They'd be out there tonight. They'll be out here nationwide. But when we do it to ourselves, nowhere, quiet is kept, right? Quiet is kept when we do it to ourselves. That's what you should put on the poster. That should be a chant. Quiet is kept when we do it to ourselves. Quiet is kept when we do it to ourselves. Quiet is kept when we do it to ourselves. Quiet is kept when we do it to ourselves. Oh yeah. Now, let a police do it. Let the police do it. You won't let a white man do it. You wouldn't hear the last of it, man. They'd be ready to kill some of these white folks. You know that. They'll be ready to kill some of these white folks. We do it to ourselves and quiet is kept. It's a contradiction that you can't outlive, man. We've been living this contradiction way too long. And the only reason nobody ain't said nothing is because we've been biased. It's our own people. It's black people. We ain't saying it how it needs to be said. If you gave people 20 years with no chance of parole, that would be the end of all this stuff going on in America. You're not going to change America by waiting for black people to use their free will to change. White folks and other Americans and even Christians and even Muslims, you're sitting back waiting for black people to change, aren't you? They're not going to change. I told you this. Non-white people, if it's black, Hispanic, and Latino in America, they're not going to change, bro. Not collectively. It's not going to change. So then when a man doesn't use his free will to change, what you do next? You give him extreme punishment by way of law. When he chooses not to use his free will to be a moral good citizen, you use the law system to give him severe punishment for him to be controlled and do the right thing when he doesn't choose to do it himself. You don't wait for him to do it. Once you see a culture that is not doing it, they're not using their free will to do good. You don't sit there and wait. I'm telling you as a Christian, you do not wait for people to use their free will to do good. That's what you're doing. Subconsciously, what are you doing as far as the community? You're hoping they change on their own. Now think about that. Do you think it's going to happen? Let's slow down right there. Do you think it's going to happen? Realistically, with all the culture, all the music, all the weed, people sitting around smoking 12 blunts. Do you think they going to change? No. They not going to change. Use your brain. Common sense tell you they ain't going to change. It's getting worse. So then what do you do next when man doesn't use his free will to do the right thing? Everybody got free will. When a man doesn't use his free will to do the right thing, what's the next move? You know what the next move is? You use criminal charges to control your community. You use severe punishment to control the community. When a man doesn't use his free will to do the right thing, now I don't rely on him to do it. I control everyone's free will by giving you 20 years when you use your free will to do reckless killings. I'm going to give you 20 years with no chance of parole. You ain't getting out in 20 years. And I always break this down because I've done many videos about my law. My law is 20 years with no chance of parole. It's the perfect law. Because it's going to take the perfect amount of time from your life. And you going to, listen, it's going to hurt you. It's going to really, really hurt you if I take 20 years of your life. 5 years is nothing. That's half a decade. You know, that's nothing. People still do crimes. See, you should be able to tell me how much you get for murder. How many years you get for murder in New York? You don't even know, do you? Tell me how many years you get for the average murder situation without saying second degree, third degree. You should be able to give me some type of average situation. You can't do it, can you? You know why? Because the punishment is not severe enough to stick in your psychology and make you remember. And that's what's supposed to happen. The charges, the punishment should be so severe that it's in your psyche as a community. So you use severe punishment before it happens to control the people, to put it in their psyche, in their psychology before they do something. So severe punishment is psychological control. That's how it works. It's no way that we can't be controlled. We have to be. We have to be controlled. It's what it is. I'm not a person that says we can't be controlled. We have to be. And this is why. We have to be controlled. Humanity has to be controlled. Come to terms with it. It's just how bad the control gonna be. See, if we went ahead and realized it, we could build a good system of control. Because you can't let people run wild. No, you can't. Let's just say I gave everybody complete freedom. Do you know they'll go and do everything known to man in the world, buddy? It wouldn't be a world left if we had no laws and we just let you do whatever you want to do. You know what you're gonna do? First thing you're gonna do is go get a whole bunch of grocery. Wouldn't you? Oh, I'm going to get everything. Oh yeah, let me go to that store over there too. You gonna be walking with a buggy, a whole buggy. Oh, let me go get a buggy. Well, I can get a buggy now. I'm gonna go get me a buggy. I might get two. Just have one behind me, one in front of me, one in front and behind. You got two buggies, one in front and behind like this, don't you? Dragging one with one hand and pushing one with the other. You will go to the store, the first thing you're gonna do is get grocery, I guarantee you. Or you're gonna go behind the counter and get cigarettes for other people. Yeah, excuse me, bro, let me get some cigarettes over here. Yeah, you might not know which ones I need. Let me get back there. Let me get back there. Let me see. I always wanted to try those over there. Let me get that. I always wanted that bottle over there, that top shelf. Give me that one up there. Yeah, give me that. Got a little dust on it. It wasn't selling, was it? Yeah, it was too expensive. Yeah. Let me get two of those, actually. Let me get three. Actually. Listen, man, let me tell you something. You have to have control in the community. If you don't have control, these niggas and these rednecks will take over the community. Call it how it is. Niggas and rednecks will run the community. Because rednecks ghetto too. Rednecks ghetto. Most of them in the trailer park. They ghetto, yeah. Let's go out there and get some beer. Your stepdad saying, yeah, let's go get some beer. Let's load up the truck with some beer. Yeah, I gotta get those tools out the bed. Let me get the tools out the truck bed. Yeah, I gotta go, you know how you can't lift it. I gotta go get it. I gotta get it myself. Let me get it myself. I gotta go get it myself. We're gonna fill up that bed with beer. I don't care if we gotta back it up into the gas station. They ain't gonna call the police. And he already drunk doing it, ain't he? He already drunk. That's what got him out there, ain't it? Yeah, we going out there, man. We going out there now. I don't care if we got a bus to push the truck, to reverse the truck up into the into the store, into the convenience store, into the bodega. We gonna get that. We gonna get a whole bed of beer. You hear me? That's we going on a beer run, a real beer run. This is a real beer run right here. This a real bill run right here. That's all people will be doing. Looting. Okay? You have to have control. And if you a person that hasn't come to terms with that, then that tells me, you listen, you're not a man, a full man or full woman. When you are a full man or full woman, you know common sense tell you gotta have control in the world. You got to. Otherwise, how you gonna walk down the street? You couldn't even walk down the street. If they didn't have no consequences for nothing, you wouldn't even be able to walk down the street. You wouldn't. Even for thugs and gangsters, let me explain this to you. If there was no criminal laws, then you couldn't even walk down the street, bro. Your family, your mama and them couldn't even walk down the street and go to the store and get a pack of 100s. They couldn't even do that. Y'all would have to be strapped at all times. You can't say you don't need the police, because that's why you safe right now. That's why nobody kicked in your door right now. Especially if you sell drugs. You know why nobody kicked in your door? Ironically, because of the law. You're doing illegal stuff. The reason why nobody came and robbed you and kicked in your door is because of the police. Ironically, the police is helping your life and saving your life. Don't you realize that? Oh, you didn't think about it that way, did you? You didn't think about it as a thug and criminal. You kind of still rely on the police. Well, yeah, you do. Well, if somebody kick in your door, you're going to be saying, yeah, somebody done kicked in my door, man. You're going to be calling the police. Yeah, somebody done kicked in my door, man. Come on down here. Oh, you ain't going to call the police. And if you got kids, you ain't going to call the police. If you a drug dealer selling drugs in your house and your kids is in the house, you ain't going to call the police if somebody kick in your door. Yeah, you are. You going to call most of you going to call the police. See, my thing is this. If you a bona fide 100% criminal, then don't use the police for nothing. I never said I was. I'm a soldier. I will do crimes if I have to. That's how I real when talking 2026. I mean, you know, I'll do a crime if I have to protect my life. But am I on the march out here doing crimes? Nah. And if you lose your auntie, guess what? You calling the police, ain't you? Let's just say your auntie got dementia. Like Nancy, what's that lady name? Nancy. Y'all know that lady that got lost. Who you gonna? If you the streets, you ain't gonna call the police if your aunt get lost like Nancy. You gonna call the streets? The streets can't find her. So if you was bona fide anti-police, then you wouldn't call the police for your auntie if she got lost. So if you lose your kids, what you gonna do? You gonna call the police or not? If you a drug dealer and somebody kidnap your kid, what you gonna do? You gonna try to put the streets out there? Oh, you might try to act to save face a little bit or try to act like you sticking with the codes. But after day three, you calling the police and filing a missing persons report. That's what you gonna do. You ain't gonna let the streets, these big old goons, dumb goons, and try to look for your children. They ain't gonna be able to find your child. You gonna have to go to the police if you lose your children. So my point is, you still, after all, do need the police. Let's keep it 100. Oh, you do need them. You might not need them for the same thing. I didn't say you needed them for the same thing, like snitching and stuff, but you do need them. Right? Listen, man. If you lose your aunt in the street, you could be a 7-star general on the streets. I guarantee you're gonna be a 7-star general calling 911. Yeah. 7-star general. Yeah. You might try to say fake 7-star general, just say some random stuff because you high, right? Yeah, 7-star general, yeah. 7-star general, yeah. I need somebody out here. You trying to save face for it, ain't you? Yeah, so that be on the call, won't it? Yeah, 7-star general. Well, he said 7-star general right there. He kept it 100. He kept it 100. He said 7-star general. That was 100. Yeah, 7-star general. Yeah, I need somebody to come out here and find my auntie, man. She done got lost over here on Rockman Road. On Rockman Road, she got lost on Rockman Road. You know them cities got the name of the roads like that. Rockman Road. Yeah, on Rockman Road. Yeah, my auntie got lost over here on Rockman Road. Northeast or northwest of Rockman? I think it was northeast Rockman. 7-star general. 7-star general. 7-star general here. You gonna be on the phone calling the police looking for your auntie on northeast Rockman. That's what you're gonna be doing. That's what you actually gonna be doing, bro. You actually gonna be calling the police. You actually gonna be on the police with the phone operator, the 911 operator. You actually gonna be on the phone with the 911 operator. That's how it is. See, I grew up as a man. Now, when I was 16, I ain't calling the police for nothing. That's what you supposed to say as a little young nigga. I'm 16, I ain't calling the police for nothing. Not at all. Not at all. We go to the extreme. Well, you know, they say they calling the police. You 16, well, they calling the police. I ain't. You act like you don't want to be, because you still a child. The police come, you go in the back room. Just because, you know, you ain't had that attitude when you was a kid. Police come around, I'm going in the back room. Smoke me a cigarette. They gone yet? You might say that as a little kid. They gone. Hey, they gone yet? You grow up, you out there on the front porch smoking a cigarette. Yeah, okay, yeah, what happened? You could be all the thug you want to be. You're a grown man. You could be a straight up killer. You sitting right there smoking a cigarette right in the face of the police. Because you learn to be able to do what you need to do and still be, you know, and be real. You could be real and still do what you need to do. I'm going to sit right there and smoke a cigarette in his face. If I was doing that, I don't do that no more. You sit right there and smoke a cigarette in his face, you a straight killer. Because we know the rules of the game. It's rules to this. How you interact with the police, and it's all about not getting caught and all about justifying what you do. That's why we got those rules. When you can't justify what you do, like these witchcraft people, everybody got a problem with you. Police, the streets, and everything. Don't let the real good police find out you a devil without a cause. Oh, you they worst favorite kind. Police hate people like you. Let's slow down right there. Let's parallel park right there. Police hate people like you, a devil without a cause. These fake rebels that think they black and dark magic and all this stuff. And the police find out you cause all these problems. They hate you. Because you the type of person, you ain't somebody struggling out here. See, they relate to a thug that's struggling. Might have came from a broken home. You know, he ain't know no better. Before he knew better, he was doing wrong already. Before he even knew what he was doing. Before he even understood the lack of immorality of his actions. The lack of morality of his actions. Before he realized the lack of morality of his actions, he was already doing wrong. See, police sympathize with that. They know you grew up drinking, smoking, and everything before you even was a man. You was already doing felonies. You know what I'm saying? See, they sympathize with that. That's why it's kind of a love-hate relationship between the police and the streets. Oh, go ask the streets. That's how it's a love-hate relationship. And they're going to show more respect to the real ones, the real criminals. They're going to show more respect to the real criminals than people like y'all. Out here posing, using witchcraft, all out here playing games. See, they despise people like you. The reason why is because you don't got to be like that. You came from a suburban background. Most of y'all had good parents, and you know, but you just decided to be a villain. You just decided to be a devil without a cause. The police despise people like that. Because they look at you as a punk. You didn't have to go the way you could have went. You could have went to school. You could have got money. Your parents had money. You could have went to school. Some of these people could have went to school, bro. And you could have been out the way somewhere living, waiting for Armageddon, but you could have been making love somewhere up in the hills right now, drinking Merlot. Drinking Merlot and Chardonnay. Getting real tipsy. Eating steaks in the oven. That part. Eating steaks in the oven, baked potatoes and steak in the oven. And sitting around tipsy on Merlot and Chardonnay. That could be you right now, but guess what? You want to be out here in the streets. People despise that, man. See, I came from a broken home. My mom and my dad broke up when I was 5 years old. Off the strength of that, people could say that's why he wasn't raised right. I already got not an excuse, but a reason for who I am. It's a difference between making an excuse for who you are as opposed to a reason for who you are. Some people make excuses. Some people got reasons. So I could use that as a crutch and say, well, I came from a broken home at 5 years old. You know what I'm saying? My dad left the house at 5. You know what I'm saying? I could use that. I could tell you all about the dysfunction. I could talk about that. But the bottom line is we got to get up and pick ourselves up and make something happen in this life, in this lifetime. Like Maxwell say, I can let my life pass me by, or I can get up and try in this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? I can let my life pass me by. That's the realest song when you think about it. I can let my life pass me by. You can let your life pass you by. Or you can get up and try to work it out in this lifetime, man. That's the realest song, man. You can let your life pass you by. You know how many black people let their life pass them by? You just seen it happening and you didn't do nothing. That's what happens to us. You see your life passing you by, you don't even do nothing about it. You can see it already happening. It's almost like you get something's telling you it's happening, right? Think about the youngest times you thought about your life starting to pass you by. If you was young when it happened. When it first happened, you was kind of young. And then you just kept going. And you didn't care. And before you know it, you was just parts of the streets. You might well have been a brick on the block. How you out there? And it happens to so many of us, man. It's not even funny. It's besides broken dreams. I ain't talking about broken dreams. The broken dreams come first. Or sometimes it don't. See how tricky that is? Sometimes your life start passing you by and you got dreams. And it's like you smoking too much weed. People don't want to accept it, but you know what? Weed can make you focus on, when you young and you start smoking weed at a young age. That's all the most developing, the most critical years for development is passed by because you smoking weed. If you was a real weed head like me, you start smoking weed when you was young, right? And the first couple years, that's all you wanted to do, wasn't it? That's all you wanted to do is smoke weed. Go get some Phillies from the store, smoke 2 blunts, play video games. Your life is already starting to pass you by. Because when you smoke weed, all you want to do is chill. From my generation, we came up off the old school way of chilling, smoking weed. We sit back, smoke a blunt, watch TV, eat good. I remember there was always some girls that smoked weed to gain weight, to eat good. Remember them girls in school? Every weed smoker know one girl who say, yeah, I smoke weed. She'll tell you too, I smoke weed, give me an appetite. I eat good when I smoke. Little itty bitty slim girl, she'll smoke weed to have an appetite. You ain't never met a girl like that. And I like pass us by. Some people, I'm gonna tell you what happened to some people. If you're lucky, you get kids and you gotta wake up. You gotta stop smoking weed. But if you a homie, if you're a dude and you ain't out here having sex, and for some reason you have sex, but I'm gonna tell you what happened to you. You start smoking weed more than having sex. And because of that, you ain't have no kids. And because of that, you ain't have no responsibilities. So you couldn't snap out of the charm of smoking weed. See, them the people that become the bums out there. The bums is the ones that they smoke weed so much, they stop having sex with girls. Because when you went out, it's not that you didn't think about it. It's not that you didn't even do it. You didn't do it normally like most people do. When you went out, what you wanted to do? You wanted to smoke weed. Instead of going out and looking for women and looking for girls. Instead of doing that and going on the block and trying to holler at some girls, what did you do instead? You went to the weed house and got a blunt. And went back to the house and smoked weed. You didn't have sex with nobody. You ain't trying to holler at no girls. See, that's what happened to most of us, man. We started smoking weed, man, and that was it. Think about it. I'm talking about real weed heads. You did not have sex with a whole bunch of girls. Think about it. You was already young, so you wasn't really thinking about it. And then you start smoking weed, and you just had sex when you could, when it made sense, or when girls came into your vicinity. But for the most part, you just focus on smoking weed. So then you didn't have any responsibilities. You didn't snap out of it like others. And okay, I smoke weed, but I gotta take care of these kids. I got some kids. Go sit down in there. Go sit down in there. Y'all heard me. Go sit down in there. And most of the parents, now you smoke weed in the living room. Y'all stay in that room. Now I'm in here smoking. Good parents will tell you that. Y'all stay in the room. Close that door. Yeah, girl, I gotta sit them down. Gotta sit them down. Go ahead and roll that blunt. Go ahead and roll that blunt. Go ahead and get started as soon as possible because they love to run around. Go ahead and roll that blunt, girl. She's sitting there rolling the blunt on the coffee table, right? Y'all start smoking. What you gonna start talking about? Bills? Yeah, I gotta do stuff for these kids. You get high, you think about that. Yeah, I gotta go down there to the food stamp office. They got a little program that add extra money. Now you getting high talking about stuff like that. But see, that's growing up. Now you talking about stuff like that. Now the person with no responsibilities, they smoking weed and just talking about the same stuff they was talking about when they were 16. Kids actually develop you, man. I'm telling you, it do. Kids develop you as a man or a woman. They develop you. When we don't have kids, most of us, for whatever reason, you're undeveloped. That's the truth. You would be more developed as a man or a woman if you had kids. I'm telling you. You would have. If you would have been able to raise your kids. And see, some of us as men, it's not that we didn't have kids. It's whatever, for whatever reason, you couldn't make it with your baby mother. So guess what? You didn't get developed as a man as much as you could have if you would have been in the house with that child. Now you the type of daddy just sitting back talking about your kids. But you really don't got the manhood and masculinity of a man that's a married man with kids. You don't got that same level of masculinity. And the reason why is because you didn't develop it. You didn't develop that. You got to develop that. You can't fake that. See, I barely got that structure for my life. I barely got it. Because, and you know what? Sometimes it ain't barely because of you. It's barely because of who you married. You barely got it because you married a toxic female. I married a very toxic woman. My woman was jealous. She was jealous over me. All that kind of stuff. You know, and it just was a toxic situation. I was one of them dudes, man. I dealt with a lot of toxic stuff from my woman. All kind of stuff, bro. That's why I tell people all the time, if you've been married, you had to be a man. You had to be. That'll turn you into a man too. Let me not forget that. Either having kids or getting married. That's what it is for me more than anything. That's what made a man out of me. Getting married, you're responsible for another human being and not to hurt that person. Not to hurt that person. You can't hurt that person when things don't go right. You can't kill that person. You can't kill them. See, that's how some people end up in jail. You know why? Because you wasn't built for no marriage. You wasn't built to handle another human being. You know, they gotta be, I'm gonna tell you, this is how it gotta be. They gotta be able to cheat on you and you don't kill them. You don't beat them so bad they wind up in the hospital. I'm not saying you ain't gonna be perfect. You're gonna be perfect, but you can't put that person up in the hospital, bro. That's the bottom line. When you went that far and that person ended up in the ER, you ain't built. I'm gonna tell you what you need to hear. Besides counseling, you're most likely not built for to have a woman. Some men can't have no woman because you don't know how to incorporate her into reality in a realistic way. She gonna interact with other people. Some men don't want their woman interacting with no man at all. How she gonna not interact with no man at all? How she ain't gonna never see another good looking man? Even better good looking than you. You don't accept it, do you? See, some people, you know, your ego gonna tell you you the best looking man she ever seen. And there's always somebody that look just as good as you. And if she don't love you, and you listen, you know where that's going. She gotta love you, buddy. That love is what keep it together. Now, a man that got a big ego, he think he the best thing since sliced bread. And when you get my age, you realize, do you got the biggest penis in the world? No, you don't. You ain't got the biggest penis in the world. You come to terms with it when you become my age. In your 20s, in your, even your early 30s, you kind of try to stretch it out and think you got the biggest one in the world, don't you? You try to stretch out your penis and say you think it's the biggest in the world, don't you? You don't even want to measure it because you think it's bigger than what it really is. Oh, come on, man. Let's keep it real. You don't want to measure it because you feel like it's bigger than that. Hey, listen. Most of us that don't have 12 or 13 inches. Now, if you got 12 or 13 inches, you gonna just, get that ruler over here. Get that ruler. Fetch that ruler. Fetch me the ruler. Fetch me the ruler. I got 12 inches easy. Fetch me the ruler. Fetch me that ruler. Yeah, I think it's back there in the bucket, in the back of the it's back there in the bucket in the shed. Go get it, it's in the shed. Fetch me the ruler. Yeah, see that right there? That's 12.5. That's 12.5. I got about 5 hanging off at the end. I got half an inch hanging off at the end. That's 12.5. That guy is not, that guy loves measuring his penis, don't he? Hey, but let's keep it real. For the average man, you ain't want to measure it, do you? Let's keep it real. You don't want to measure it, do you? You know it's big, but you don't want to measure it, do you? So you just live in the world of, I know it's big. And a woman don't want to play with your ego and just ask you how many inches it is. Oh, well, women are smarter than us. You know, most cultured women already have the question to ask you, but they never ask you. You know what that question they never ask you? How many inches is your penis? How many? No, I ain't saying is it big. I know it's big. What? How many inches? Straight shooting question. You know why a woman don't ask you that? Because of your ego. She know you got an ego. She ain't gonna ask you how many inches. She's just gonna say it's big. You just gonna say it's big. Cause you don't want to measure it. Cause you feel like it's bigger than that, right? Men have ego, man. That's how you know. You don't never want to measure your penis. You keep stretching it out. But once you get about in your late 30s to your early 40s, you know what actually happens? You come to terms with the fact that you ain't got the biggest penis in the world. You ain't got the biggest. Somebody got bigger penis than you. And guess what? They can hit parts of your woman's vagina that you've never hit before. Can you live with that? It's parts of her vagina you ain't gonna never touch. But it's another guy. It's another guy across town that can touch parts of her vagina that she didn't even know she had. But guess what? You ain't gonna never touch that. You ain't gonna never get to experience that part. It don't matter what you could touch it with your hand, your fingers. but your penis ain't gonna never explore certain parts of her vagina. But you know how we even out as black men, you know what we do? What we realize? Most women can't take what I got right now. If they can't take this, why would I want any more? I have a problem with them taking this. And that's how you know you're in a decent place. You know how you know you're in a decent place? You don't probably really think that you should have a bigger penis. I don't think I should have a bigger penis. Not really. Not really, right? Not really. See, we need to be able to have real men conversation. This is a real man conversation. Because there's some of y'all that do struggle. You know what I'm saying? Because your woman, you ain't got the biggest penis. Right? But you got to come to terms with it. Okay. Other people got bigger penises than me, but I'm going to just work what I got. I don't want nothing bigger. A black man going to say no, because these women can halfway take this. I don't care how many inches it is or whatever it is. I don't need no more. And that's how you know you're in a good situation. Because most women can't even take it all. And then they can't take your full thrust, your full strength. You should be able to, I'm going to tell you how you really should have sex. Now, this is for all men, even men with 12 inches. Because a man with 12 inches, let me tell you something about a man with 12 inches. He can't have sex with every woman. No. Women talk a good game, and men, we know that, don't we? Black men, we know that, right? Women talk a good game, yeah, I want me a big penis. But then when it comes down to it, what happens? She can't take it all, can she? Come on, buddy. Listen, that's mature sexuality, what I'm talking about. When you know your woman can't even take what you got. So you think about the dude with 12 inches. I wouldn't want to be him because ain't nobody going to have sex with him. All these women ain't going to have sex with him? No, it seemed like it would be like that. It seemed like it would. No. And guess what? A 12-inch penis man know that all the women can't take the full thrust. He can't put his back into it. No, he can't. No, he can't. You ever had sex with a woman, you try to hit it hard as you can. She couldn't take it, could she? You supposed to have sex like that. That's how you supposed to have sex. Most black men, we can't have sex like that. No, we can't. You can have sex when you hit it hard as you can. Literally. You can't have sex with no woman like that, boy. She'll shut you down. Listen, you know how women halfway got us controlled? Boy, you was crazy the other night. How you was having sex with me? You crazy. What's wrong with you? I gotta have something. Listen. I gotta be able to walk, boy. I gotta walk. I gotta walk around here. You know how women halfway control us. I gotta walk around. Listen, man. she ain't gonna let you hit it as hard as you can. And how many men can honestly say you ain't never have sex with all your might? No, you didn't. In fact, most men would tell you, I can count on both hands, literally, this is times, not persons, times I've had sex with all my might. Like, when? As a black man, with a whole bunch of penis. You had sex with all your might. That's what you're missing right there, buddy. You ain't know it. You know why? Because our women control us with how we have sex with them. They have to. We got a lot of penis, right? They gonna control us. They gonna tell us how to have sex with them, right? So you wind up with all the women, you didn't realize it, but all the women you had sex with, you never had sex like a man supposed to. You know how you're supposed to have sex? With all your might. That's how you're supposed to have sex. As a man, it's a masculine, you're supposed to play a masculine position where you hitting it hard as you can. You ain't hitting it like that, bro. See what I'm saying? And I know, listen, I'm not doing it. You can't. Most of the women can't take it like that, bro. No. Women talk a good game, bro. But when it come down to it, listen, when it come down to it, and y'all do it, she can't do it. She can't go through it. That's facts. You know? See, for me, for all I've been through, you need to hear my sexuality expressed. If you're wondering, listen, now for all these other dudes and other people, you know, this might be completely off road for you, but all the things that's been said about me, people need to actually hear. I think so. I think they need to hear my stuff that only a real black man know. I think they need to, yeah. So if you think I'm, see, that's how smart I am. I know some of them need to hear this. So you can see, I'm just like, some stuff you can't make up, bro. Yeah. But you know, these folks came out here playing in our field, bro. Playing in the jungle. You know? And we can't be their scapegoat. I can't be their scapegoat. They gotta be ours. It's never no good day to die. You know what I'm saying? You know, it's no good way to die. And I don't know what to tell people. But I know this whole world done changed, and we all have felt the changes. We hate it. I hated it a long time ago. I hated it like 3 or 4 years ago when this happened. But then I just came to reality. I accepted reality. This stuff changed. This whole situation changed. And it's so sad, man. It's like we had one of the best countries in the world and it was destroyed by suckers, man. That's the worst part. The worst part, it was suckers. I can see if it was real ones going back and forth, these real wars and gang wars. Okay. But suckers, bro. Suckers coming out here playing. It's so sad, bro. So sad. I mean, on the strength of honor, man, I think these dudes should just be taken out, man. That's real, bro. Because, like, ain't none of us moving like that. Not me, not you. Listen, if people don't understand this, no matter how much big of a sensei you become, a sensei is going to become more humble. With every given day, I'm going to be more humble. When you're young, you're reckless. Even as a master, you know, the older you get is the more humble, you become more humble. I'm not saying you're not dangerous anymore. You're just more humble. You're more wise. You know it's more than one way to skin a cat, right? So you're going to be more patient. More patient is the word. But it's a thin line between patience and tolerance. I can be a patient person, but I just have a lack of tolerance for foolishness. But I can be patient. I can be strong as a man. But tolerance is a whole different subject. You could be the strongest man in the world and just choose not to tolerate somebody trying you. It's not that I can't take it. It's just I don't tolerate it for many different reasons. Like just that I don't feel like these people on my level, so I'm not gonna tolerate it at all. And see how that's different from patience? You see how that's different from having strength to endure? It's just like that should not exist. You feel me? Like no, it shouldn't be nobody around thinking they doing what I'm doing. Are they comparable? So is that so where does patience come in? You see what I'm saying? What role does patience play? You know, it's like tolerance. Intolerance is like I don't want to coexist with this. That's what it is for me. I don't want to coexist with this. And it's not that I can't do it. I mean, I think I've proven that I can do it. But I don't think that I want to coexist with people who think they can fight me. And I just know it's out the question. You see what I'm saying? And only if you are a boss do you understand this. It's like to be coexist with that, and I know they can't do the same thing I do. I know it's nowhere near where we at. How you gonna stay there and sit there? I can't do it. So will a lack of tolerance stop me? No, a lack of tolerance won't stop me because in a tricky way, it tells me already what the situation is. My energy should not be parallel with somebody. You see what I'm saying? I shouldn't be walking side by somebody and see arrogance puts them in that position. Manipulation. But the truth is me and you shouldn't be side by side. How? How should me and you be side by side? Or you should be putting yourself you should be putting yourself in my path in front of me. I'm talking about when people put themselves in your path. Like to show themselves to you. How could you think that with my level you could put yourself in front of me? You play yourself, man. You're not fooling nobody. See what I'm saying? See, when you get to the higher logistics of war and stature and caliber, we see you for who you are. You're not playing nobody. See that part? See that part? See that part? They not playing me at all. They playing this other community, these kids and these other people. They not playing us, because we can clearly see it's a mismatched situation. It's a mismatched situation. So it's an insult to me. It's almost like to say, that's on our level. It's not. So it's a difference between patience, strength, and tolerance. I just became intolerant. That's it. That's all. And my path is going to direct me. God is going to direct me as I move out on my own different direction, because my rank cannot be forgotten. Long as you got your rank in your mind, your rank can't be forgotten. Long as you understand your rank, you understand that you're going to make it anyway. That's the whole punchline. You above these situations. You above these people. So how you ain't going to make it when you go this way, when you go the opposite way? God is already going to understand. God already see it for what it is. You can't be compared to these people no more. You know what I'm saying? I can't be compared to these people no more, bro. I outgrew these people. I'm doing stuff that they couldn't do. I done wrote President Maduro, and that's how I know it's time for me to move. Because that's the highlight of me being here in Brooklyn. While everybody was doing whatever they was doing, President Maduro was dragged by the white Americans to Brooklyn. I'm the only one among us that wrote him and took the time to pen him a letter and show concern, and you know what I'm saying, and give attention to his situation. The rest of the people didn't do that. That's my highlight of this situation. That was done at the end of the, basically the end of the winter, coming into the summer. I mean, coming into the spring. I did that at the beginning of spring, and I just know when it's time. And it's also time when y'all killed a girl that's 7 months old. See, I pay attention to things like that, and I look at all the times of things, and I know for sure it's time to move on. It's time. It's time for me. Because I've won. Because Brooklyn can't talk nothing about no children no more. Not you. That's it, bro. How many kids we gonna let die before you lose credibility? As a collective community, how many kids die in Brooklyn before we say, yo, Brooklyn ain't got no credibility concerning kids? Let's think outside of American culture and perspective. Let's just look at it. Let's just look at it on an international level of just judging a community, right? Not how America judge it, how anybody would judge it. Okay, if you keep killing people in this same community, Brooklyn, you kill a 7-month-old child, whether it was directly or indirectly. How long we gonna let this go on? And they still got credibility. These rappers talking about, yeah, we care about children out here. That's gone, bruh. That's gone. You see what I'm saying? That's gone. They talking about yeah, we care about kids out here. That's gone, bruh. That's gone. 7-month-old child killed in Brooklyn. Can you imagine how dark how dark of a night they family is right now? So we don't want to hear it no more. That happened right here in this borough where I'm at right now. Okay? That's my walking papers right there. I win. Because you contradict yourself so much, and you ran around here in Brooklyn talking about kids and got this whole setup about kids all here in this neighborhood, kids, and here you are now with bloods on your hand of a 7-month-old child. As a collective community, see, when the killing keep going on and on, you get charged as a collective community. Because you was just waiting to have something on me, so why shouldn't I just cash out when I got something on you? I'm just cashing out. Just hanging out. Remember that song? Just cashing out. You know I'm old. Just hanging out. Remember that song? Just cashing out. Now that's a blast from the past. I ain't heard that song in a long time. Just hanging out. Hey man, I just like Pac said, man, it's gonna be some stuff you're gonna see in the future that's gonna make it hard to smile, but you gotta keep your sense of humor. Every time I hear that line right now, you know what I think about? The gang stalking. The gang stalking and all this stuff, the Freemasons and the Illuminati playing in the community with this gang stalking and all of this. That's the stuff that we seen in the future that was gonna make it hard to smile, but we gotta keep our sense of humor. You see what I'm saying? So you see, it ain't goofy. It's stuff that I see, and I still keep my sense of humor. So then you don't calculate that to corniness or goofiness. No, that's what Pac said. It's gonna be stuff that we gonna see in the future with all this gang stalking and all this stuff. But we got to keep our sense of humor. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm doing. That's the strongest among us. That's what we going to do. The strongest among us, obviously with Pac saying that, man, you know, that's obviously a reflection of the strongest among us. You got to keep your sense of humor through all this stuff that these people been doing. That's what I've done in excellence. I've kept my sense of humor, you know, through all this foolishness, you know, and I weathered it all. Would I want, in a perfect world, would I stay in New York? Yeah, but I probably wouldn't stay in Brooklyn. I'd be in Manhattan. I'm keeping it real. I would be in Lower Manhattan. I ain't gonna be in Brooklyn. Just like the rest of these celebrities. Where they at? They're in Manhattan. They ain't in Brooklyn. I mean, you know, some people are in Brooklyn. Some celebrities are in Brooklyn, but nah, I just rather walk them. I like them Lower Manhattan streets where all the hustle and bustle and all that kind of stuff and running around. That's the stuff I seen on TV when I was a kid. That's the New York. The Manhattan is what we seen for the most part. That's what everybody on the outside liked the most. All the taxis and all the stuff move. You know what I'm saying? Park Avenue, Madison Avenue, Fifth Avenue, all this stuff. You know what I'm talking about? All that kind of energy. That's what, you know, going to get a coffee down the block, walking back down, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff. You can do it anywhere, but it's just different. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. You know, if I did stay in New York seriously with money, I would be in Lower Manhattan because I just like the vibe. I like peace. You know what I'm saying? I like peace. I'm a peaceful person. You know what I'm saying? I like to go outside and it's a cool day. You know what I'm saying? Walk down the block, go get me a coffee. Nothing bad happens. You know what I'm saying? Come back. It's cool. You know what I'm saying? If I have some wine, I'm just go down the block, drink some wine, walk around, have a good conversation, come back. Boom. Nobody ain't putting no pressure on you. Nobody ain't talking reckless. Nobody ain't acting ghetto and ratchet. It's not that we don't love our own people. We don't love the environments. It's that. You know, but nobody say I like an environment where people put pressure on me and I go down the street and people playing games, talking under their breath. Who say they like that? The wannabes, the posers. Because they ain't get enough of it. You get enough of it, you ain't gonna want it. Hey, you get enough of it, you ain't gonna want it. You get enough bad misfortunes to cover your life, you're gonna want to move on. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's totally normal. I don't know nobody who want to stay in the hood forever. I don't know nobody who want to stay in these type of situations forever, man. You know, so I aspire to be in a place where I got peace. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in a place where I got peace and I can walk down the block. You know, because drinking is in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying it says do not be filled with excess of wine. But that key terms, excess of wine. Drinking excessively. You know, but wine itself is not a sin in itself. So, you know, if I could drink a little bit of wine and then walk down the street, have a good conversation with somebody, come back home, make some breakfast, you know what I'm saying? Something like that. You know, that's a good day for a man my age. That's a good day for somebody like me. You know what I'm saying? Not going outside and then, you know, somebody putting pressure on me, somebody talking reckless, somebody talking crazy. You know what I'm saying? Under their breath and stuff. Who embraces that kind of stuff? Only people that ain't had enough of it. That's all. And once you get enough of it, listen, buddy, you want to be as far as the north is from the south and the east is from the west from this stuff. That's how far you want to be from it. And I'm no exception to these rules. You know what I'm saying? I want to be in a peaceful place. That's all. If it doesn't matter, you know, what the situation is. I want to be in a peaceful place. If I can't do that, I'm going to the streets. Now, see, it's a crazy situation where you actually rather be homeless, man, than deal with stress and problems. It's a lot of people that's like that. Think about all them people you see on TV, on the internet that's sleeping in their cars. You think that's because You think that's because they got no options or they ran out of options? No, I think because they stopped tolerating certain things. It wasn't a peaceful situation. And they decided to bow out gracefully and just go out there and thug it out on the streets. And you know, and I'm the same way. I'll take my chances. I'm that type of personality. I'll take my chances to have peace. Peace to you might be just financially. For me, peace is the quietness of things. The quietness of my soul. The quietness of my mind and heart with situations. If I don't feel that, I have to go somewhere where I do. And even if it's on the streets, I'm gonna do what I have to do. I'd rather have quietness in my soul than just be somewhere and it's just rambunctious all the time. You know what I'm saying? That's not being a coward. That's not being that's a person that in your value system, peace is first. My peace is first. That's why I don't lose my mind. That's why I haven't lost myself, because I preserve my peace at all costs. And some people ain't like that. They'll go ahead and lose their mind to have a place to live. Head be toned off. Head look like a top of a chicken tender. Toe off. Head toe off like the top of a chicken tender. Chomp. Head toe all the way off. Don't even care. Walk around with a toe off head. Head look like a bit off chicken tender. And you don't care. Don't you know some people that's halfway crazy because it's just to have a place to live. Whether it's living with another person, they living with a jerk. They know the person's a jerk. You got pretty women right now living with a straight jerk. And this dude is like playing psychological games. He's like one of them jerks. Controlling this girl, making her feel like she ain't nothing but she's beautiful. And she got to live with this jerk, and like her whole self-esteem is crumbling down. She don't care. She's sitting around smoking all the time, drinking all the time. He buy her everything, but she feels like nothing. You know what I'm saying? You know how many girls is living like that right now? They living with a man. They living with a man, and he's just a total jerk. But he buys her everything. You ever been with that type of person? Beautiful women gonna tell you, this dude, he buy everything for me. That's why you there. But you ain't got the courage to walk away for your self-respect and your dignity and your peace. So you sit there and let the dude, you in your own little world, trying to be at least, getting high, smoking weed, drinking, trying to get in your lane, listen to your little music. If you're kind of young, listening to your little music or whatever. But you're not living life. You know what I'm saying? You gotta walk away for your self-respect. And when you get old enough, you're gonna do it. Eventually. If you live, if you make it, that person don't hurt you or kill you. You're gonna make it to walk away for your self-respect. Even if it's you being on the streets. I done it more than one time. I walk away. If it don't serve me and it don't respect me, listen, I'm at the age I walk away. Cause that's not the energy that you need to compliment you and be around you. Like, look at that. You know, you don't need that around you, no. Not at the even at the expense of you, being homeless. Even at your own expense, you should not put yourself in that situation. And see, that's where I'm at in my life. But see, that's the strongest among us. When you a kid, you're going to be in those situations because you can't handle the streets. You can't handle being on the streets. But when you strong enough to handle the streets, you'll walk away like a grown man or a grown woman. Like, you gotta know when stuff don't serve you no more. You done got whatever you needed. You pay attention to everything. Pay attention to the writing on the wall. See, for me, my enemy's already defeated. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of wars going on. That was my objective. Because whether you agree with it or not, I had to go to war, right? Okay, so, that's my story. That's me. So you gotta make sure you ain't being corny, thinking about what you could do versus what I had to do. Or what you would do versus what I felt I had to do. for me to survive, because ain't nobody else gonna vouch for your survival like you. You know what you actually going through. You know what you up against. People gonna tell you all the right answers and the perfect answers and things to do, but they not in your situation. So they become a backseat taxi driver. You know what I'm saying? They become a backseat taxi driver. Turn here, turn there, go here, go there. No, you have to do what's best for you. Because you the one got to live that life. You the one got to live in that situation. They don't. They can sit back and watch you like a movie, but they ain't got to be in that situation. So you got to do, you got the way you know is when something doesn't serve you no more. If it's not serving you, and you meeting your objectives, whatever your goals are. I met my goals since I came here to New York. My goal was to get this community, this American country, collapsed to a good place where the system is in trouble, where the system is about to be collapsed. I'm just being transparent with you. I do it all by spiritual means. I'm not a terrorist. I do everything by spiritual means. But I came to New York to work my spirituality just like I have, to the point where the system is going to be collapsed, where it's in trouble. And now that you see this war in Iran, you don't think it's in that situation? This war in Iran, you don't think that's what is close to being collapsed this country is? You got gas prices soaring out the sky, soaring above the convenience building, soaring above the gas station. Gas prices soaring above the gas station. You don't think it's a good time for me to go? I do. I do think it's a good time for me to go based on my objective of collapsing the American systems, right? Okay, look how much in danger it is, them over there fighting in Iran. But see, in a perfect world, I would be able to do a little more. But I learned to use different weapons in my arsenal. If I have to leave, God is going to retaliate against the community. Oh, you didn't know that? So then, instead of staying in this situation and I don't get myself respect, I don't get my respect, and people playing in my face and playing games, and and I might wind up hurting somebody, I'd rather remove myself and use another weapon of removing myself and God retaliating against New York and America. See that? And so once I leave, something else is gonna happen because I had to leave. God ain't gonna put me in no situation where I gotta go through this, man, and these people beneath me. No, not once my objective is accomplished. No. Now I got options. But see, that's how good I am in my discernment of situations. So now I can use in my arsenal removing myself. And New York is going to be against the Freemasons. New York is going to be against the Illuminati. New York is going to be against these people. So that's going to work to destroy them here too. And America too. So I'm still getting something done when I make that move, right? Something going to get done. You'll see. The last time I left New York, that healthcare dude got assassinated by that Luigi character. That's what happened shortly after that. 2 months after that. 2 months after I left, that dude got killed right here in New York. By the Luigi character. So, it just comes to a point in place in time, bro, where, you got to do what's best for your peace. Even if it means you being on the streets. But see, that's a man. I'm a man. See, a man is built so differently. It's not even funny. People don't pay attention. I can, me being on the streets, I'm a wild man. It doesn't bother me. I don't lose my mind. I don't lose my peace. I get my peace because I don't have to be socially interactive. I like that. I don't have to interact with nobody socially when I'm on the streets. For a young man, let me tell you what I get out the streets. I don't have to answer to nobody. I don't have to go to work. I don't have to no, that's not lazy. I don't have to interact with nobody. I don't have to go to work because I'm the one paying the price for being lazy. If you think I'm being lazy, it's not hurting you. It's not hurting anybody. Because the little things and little gestures of care that people give me ain't really touching nothing in their pockets. It ain't stopping them at all. So you don't really become anybody's really quote unquote responsibility when you're on the streets. In fact, you become your own full responsibility. Because even when you in the care of working a job, people are responsible for you in a sense of how they treat you and what they do for you as an employee. They have responsibilities for you, right? So if you work at a job, your employer is responsible for you. The more you connect to community and society, is the people that the more that society is responsible for you. Anytime you connect to anything, whoever it is responsible for you to some type of degree. You don't have to. You in a relationship, nobody's responsible for you. You don't have a relationship, and you're not responsible for someone else. So it's a complete freedom that some people are scared to experience. All you have to do is find a place to live that's safe on the streets, that's out the way, where people ain't walking by you. When you find a place where people ain't walking by you, and you settle in, and you find a way to get food and all that stuff, it's everything. You gotta pay a price. So you just pay the price of like not being able to eat exactly all the stuff you want, but in life you always trade something for something else. That's how it is. So it has to be people that's on the streets, most likely in their value system is their peace. Peace is most important to them. For people that don't care about losing their mind and living anywhere, and they don't care how they get treated, they won't go run and be on the streets. Think about it. If you in a relationship and you run off on somebody, that means you the type of personality that you would not let somebody take your peace. If you live with somebody in a relationship and you're the type of personality that if we fall out real bad, I'm gonna leave. That tells me you the type of person that values your peace above everything else. And I'm that type of person too. If I don't have peace, I'm out. I'm out. And that's the best type. That's the best type of person. If you the type of person just sit up in the funk of everything and people just treat you all kind of crazy ways and no. You're gonna lose your mind. All your life. Stand with the wrong people. You gotta know when to lose. You gotta know when to fold. You gotta know when to fold. You gotta know when to fold, buddy. You gotta know when to leave. And it don't matter what people think about you. You gotta know when to leave, because if you sit up and stay in that situation, you might wind up killing them. A person, it's people in jail right now, and they never thought they would have killed somebody. But you stayed in a relationship where somebody was mistreating you. They kept mistreating you. And just like a dog, if you keep kicking a dog, it's gonna bite you. It could be the nicest dog, but keep kicking it. Eventually the dog gonna growl and bite you. He might not do it today, he might not do it tomorrow, but eventually he's gonna bite you. We all have human limitations. We all do. You got human limitations, I do. And when you feel your limitations being stretched, it's time to go before you've been to hurt somebody. But only you know that. Only you know how much you're gonna take. Only you know when you about to hurt somebody. You know what I mean? And soon as you even think about it or feel that way, what that tells you. It tells you shouldn't be there. That's what it tells you. It's time to go. And that's how you maintain your quality. Because long as you stay, you're gonna down your quality. Next thing you know, you ain't the person that you used to be. You don't command the respect that you used to command. Because at some point, you start just letting people treat you any kind of way. So then life is made like many times, man, people will put you in situations and treat you like crap because they know you ain't got nowhere to go. That's even organizations like when I'm in and everything. They'll treat you like crap because they know you ain't got nowhere to go. Think about it. They know you ain't got no options. If you had options, you wouldn't be here, right? Right. You would have been out as soon as you certain things. If you know what I'm saying? So people play on that, and you gotta have enough courage to say, I'm gonna keep my peace. I'm gonna keep my peace and walk away with my quality. I'm not gonna be treated like down here and I'm up here, right? So then that's when you have to go. That's how you do it. That's grown man talk. That's grown woman talk. And that's how you maintain your quality. And people can't tell, how can this person go through this and don't feel like crap? How can he walk around like, because I know when to leave. I know when to leave people. I know when to leave family. I know when to leave society. I know when to leave America. And other people just go through all these things with this country, and I don't. I'm not going to sit up and go through things with these people over and over again. I know when to leave. And when I leave, I'm leaving with my self-respect and my quality. But if you stay in those situations where you deal with America, you trying to go out here and work and trying to do what they want you to do, you trying to make sure they acknowledge you as one of those people that's doing what they expect you to do, then they got you. They got you where they make you feel that you're obligated to live the way they want you to live. And if you don't live like that, you're a nobody. I don't care if they think that about me. Long as I know I got my peace, long as I know I can go somewhere and I don't have no responsibilities for this country, no responsibilities for nothing. That's freedom. And that's why some people on the streets right now, freedom is homelessness. But the only catch is you're not obviously financially free. You're not financially free. But which one you have to decide, which one you want to be. Free or financially free. And you feel like you're in hell and it's not even worth it with the people that's around you and everything. Or I go on the streets and I'm just free. I don't have no responsibilities. I ain't got to get up a certain time. I can lay around all day. And I ain't got nobody bugging me when I lay around, like in these facilities. Okay, I can lay around in these facilities, but you get disturbed by people playing games. You know what I'm saying? That's why I stopped the shelters like 10 years ago. Literally 2016. 2016, I ain't never been in a shelter with a wholeheartedly. I have never been in a shelter wholeheartedly since 2016. 10 years ago. You see how time flies? I promise you, I haven't been in a shelter wholeheartedly for 10 years. Literally. It's 10 years. Because they started killing people in the shelter. This dude right here in New York got murdered. This is real. I ain't saying the staff. I'm talking about other people in the clients. Once somebody got murdered in the shelter system, and then I seen a girl get murdered in the shelter system here in New York, like maybe 2 or 3 years, 2 years ago. Yeah, about 2 years ago. This young girl, she got killed by this older female in the shelter. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's two people. That's both genders. A dude that got murdered in the shelter, that was a guy, and this female that got murdered by another girl right here in New York. All that happened here in New York. Once I seen that, I've never been in any type of shelter wholeheartedly like I used to when I was a kid. When I was younger, I'd be in there wholeheartedly, getting my little hair products, you know what I'm saying? Got my little routines, talking to the people in the shelter. I ain't on none of that vibe. That's why I have never been wholeheartedly in any type of shelter environment or anything close to it in the past 10 years. Not wholeheartedly. Meaning I don't embrace the whole environment. I'm not trying the logistics, the staff, the people that can help you, all of that. I don't care about none of that. I'll help myself. How about that? Once I seen somebody got murdered in the shelter system, and they said I knew the dude too. They said I knew him. He knew me. And he got murdered in the shelter system here in New York at Bellevue, the Bellevue shelter. And the dude that killed him was a maniac. He killed him, and then he got in a taxi and tried to kill the taxi driver. That part. This dude was a maniac. He killed him, got in the taxi, and tried to kill the taxi driver. Right here in New York. That's what I heard. I heard he tried to kill the guy in the taxi. I think maybe that's how they got him. Probably is. But once I heard that, it's not that it scared me, it let me know it was the end of an era. See, I don't I'm not in denial about reality. If something is off, it's off. That's what it is. I'm just going to adjust to it. I'm not going to try to say, oh, gee, I wish it was like it used to be. Y'all be singing them songs, make it like it was. Make it like it was. How it used to be. You want to make it like it was. Make it like it was. Listen, sometimes you can't make it like it was. And it's sad. It's sad. But that's life, bro. You got to be equipped for real life. Life is forever changing with every generation. It's nobody that can say, oh yeah, I got all my... You lucky if you got all your family. It's some people that kind of do. They kind of got basically all their family, but most of us, we got... The more time goes by, we lose more family members. And you don't have who you started out with. That's when you come to terms with life, how it is. You start looking at all the people that's done passed away. You start looking at all of that, man. It's like, this is life. This is how it is. But like I said, man, when you start losing kids that's 7 months old, it's a lost cause. It's like, why should we be here? If you're not a narcissistic, conceited bastard, you should ask yourself, why are we here when a 7-month-old child dies? We all experience life at our ages. We already experience what life is. We already know what it is. That child came and went to heaven and don't even know what life was. And now that child is in heaven with God. You don't think God see that? Of course he does. He see these children coming up to him to 7 months. And God comes and looks and sees what happened. It's so sad, bro. And see, when you're really sensitive to that, like you should be, you're going to conclude, this is what I expect you to conclude. Whether you got kids or not yourself, it's a lost cause for this to go on anymore. It don't matter if you got kids. Look at the overall world. It's a lost cause, man. Some people are so simple-minded. You keep thinking about your kids, your kids, your kids. People are losing their kids at the same time, and that's the balance. The balance is, while you talk about your kids so much and what you would do to protect your kids, people are losing their kids to America. And that's the balance. Now people see it my way. Like, this don't need to go on, man. It don't. It's a lost cause, man. How can you even be happy? How can you really be happy? Knowing kids like that dying, how can you just relax and just be happy and laugh and act like it's all good? How can you do it? It's over. It's a lost cause, man. I've been told y'all this. Now you see what I'm talking about, man. Now you see what I'm talking about. I ain't fabricating nothing. It's always something to show you. It's always going to be something to show you. That's why I say 20 years with no chance of parole. That's what these people need to get. Now watch them boys don't get that. I want you to watch the charges that them dudes get. They gonna get them. They gonna get them. One of them had his head showing with a ponytail, stupid. Why you gonna have your face showing with a ponytail like a sucker? You know what I'm saying? Straight up sucker, bruh. I know what he look, light skinned with a ponytail. Ponytail blowing in the wind, ain't it? Ponytail blowing in the wind. He probably, if he's smart, he gonna cut his hair. Cut all that junk off. I cut my head all the way bald, buddy. That's a good way. Think about it. You cut your head all the way bald, you just blend in. He looked like he was Latino. You just blend in. All the way bald, you look like a whole different person. I get rid of that moped, everything. I get rid of all that stuff. You ain't gonna find no paper trails, buddy. I'm getting rid of that moped, my hair, everything. And me and that dude gonna go separate ways. We gonna split up. We ain't gonna be together, two dudes together hanging out like homies. Nah, that's how they gonna know. Two dudes hanging together. Me and you gotta go our separate ways for a while. But see, dudes ain't built like that. They gonna make mistakes, still keep their hair. He might try to get it braided, right? Yeah. Yo, dude gonna try to go get it braided. I guarantee you gonna have some girl braiding his hair right now, right? I guess some girl braiding his hair, right? Some chicken head braiding his hair right now, right? Yeah. Sitting around like he a homie. and he crap face drunk right now, I guarantee you. Wouldn't you be? Crap face drunk like a mug. Man, I wish I wouldn't have done yet. Man, I didn't try to, I promise you I ain't try to do it. It's too late, man. What is done, bro. 7 months, years old. Psh, man. Think about the mother, you know what I'm saying? Carrying the child all that time. You in a healthy mood, all the good stuff you did to make sure that child was born healthy. Look at all her efforts to produce a healthy child. No smoking, no drinking. And then 7 months later after the child was born. It's a lost cause, don't you see? It's a lost cause. It doesn't matter no more. Is it being suicidal? No, it's not being suicidal. It's just, and real people know what I'm talking about. It's just, it doesn't matter no more. It doesn't matter what happens. It's just time. It's time, bro. It's time for arrogant. And now with that being said, arrogant people are going to get burned away, bro. Because what we going to look at is, stuff is too real for you to be out here on some stupid stuff about whatever. And then whatever you talking about, look at this stuff that's happening right here. So you need to sit down, bro. It's no room for you no more. It's no room. It's no room for you. It's too much real stuff going on. And then back to what I said. No tolerance. I don't have no tolerance for it when I see all this stuff going on with these kids. Real stuff. And you doing whatever you doing, talking about whatever you talking about. I just have no tolerance. I cannot live with people like that. I can't coexist with people like this. You know what I'm saying? Nah, I can't, man. I'd rather be a bum. I'd rather be on the streets. I'm dead serious. And I'm going to show people I'm dead serious. I done already turned down an apartment from these same people. I don't want no apartment from you. Some people see, I can't tell everybody in my family that because they not going to look at it the way it really is because they don't know. They don't know all this stuff going on. So if I tell them I turned down an apartment, they gonna think I'm tripping. My mom might trust my judgment to a certain degree, but they gonna feel like in the back of their mind, human nature gonna feel like that person could have kind of toughed it out a little bit. But then when you realize, and I'm not saying this in particular against any family member or whatever, but when you realize you know more about what's going on than they do. All the stuff that surrounds you, all the games, all the psychological games, the grid that they got you on playing in your face in all these stores you go in, riding up and down the street when you walk out on the streets. See, they don't know that part. Now, if they did know, you have to trust that if they really knew everything that was going on, they would want you to turn the apartment down too. Your mother, if she knew everything you was going through, if she really knew, she would want you to turn down the apartment too and say, well, you can just come back here, all that stuff, you know. You might as well just walk away. Yeah, you're doing the right thing. But see, they don't know. And see, that's where you have to realize that in life, sometimes people don't really know the whole story of what you gotta what you gotta go through, and so they're limited to just certain things. They can't see everything. They can't see all of the logistics. They can't see all the logistics of what you're going through. So you gotta that's why you definitely have to make your decisions based on what you see and what's comfortable for you and your peace. You know what I'm saying? And if I know if they doing stuff here, why am I get an apartment where they can continue to do the same thing at the next apartment? Think about that. If they doing this stuff here, why would I go and get an apartment from them? And the only reason you called me because I was going to another agency. Okay, let me explain this. Let me explain this. Get a little bit of water first. The first time I was in Haza, I was at the YMCA at the Y in Jamaica in Queens, right? I was only there 2 months, not even a full 3 months before I had an apartment. Now, I don't know if that was the push and respect that they gave clients that was at the Y, because they know the Y is a little more professional. And they know the Y ain't gonna just have people up there waiting on a Haza situation. And it could be that. Cause the Y is nationwide. That's a whole organization. They got people that can shut down Haza. You know what I'm saying? They can make complaints or red flags and Haza just disappears. So maybe I would, me being smart, I would say in my smarts that maybe because of me being at the YMCA, and that's how I received my first house through Haza, that they had to comply with proper protocol because I received my house while my apartment while I was with Haza, while I was with YMCA. While I was with the YMCA, Haza gave me my housing. So they had to comply with proper protocol because I was there at the YMCA. This time, I went through Haza and got emergency housing where I'm in the grips of everything that they got going. But remind you, the first place I went to, even though it was through the YMCA, it was games being played there. The whole building was 2 floors, right? They put you in these little facilities because they can fill them up easy. If I want to use a whole bunch of enemies to surround you, I'm gonna make the facility small because I can easily fill it up. I can put you in there in a small facility and I can fill it up with enemies. If I put you in a big old projects, if I put you in the PJs, the projects, if I put you in the projects, right, then I can't fill up that whole building with enemies. Then you're gonna have people on your side and everything like that. And I can't concentrate an enemy against you, but the smaller the facility, I can fill it up with nothing but enemies. I can easily do that. So with the first apartment, they did that. Haza is an enemy, and I'm gonna fight them to the end of the world. I mean, that's what it is. I'm gonna fight them. And the second place they put me in was in Jamaica. I went back to Jamaica. This ain't the first time. This is the second time. The second time I went to Jamaica, they put me on Hillsides Avenue. The dude that was over the building was a Marine, a veteran Marine. They used him in his smarts for military to play psychological games with me with the clients in the building. This is Haza. When I came back to New York this time, when I went to Haza the second time, I went through their agency. They gave me emergency housing and sent me to Jamaica with this military Marine guy that was playing psychological games with the building. Okay? A Puerto Rican dude said that he was blacker than me and called me a bitch or whatever, and I had to leave for my self-respect. That's what I always do. That's how you maintain your quality. You don't sit up and let somebody treat you like a slave and step on you. And so when he did that, I left. I went back to Haza. They sent me here to Brooklyn. When they sent me here to Brooklyn, this whole building is another situation that Haza has set up on purpose, like the last situation and the situation before that. They use these little facilities and they can fill them up with enemies. All of them are enemies. Don't let them fool you. They're all enemies. And it sounds paranoid until you realize it's an abnormal little small facility that they can fill up with enemies. And that's all the Freemasons and Illuminati has did. They use these little facilities and then surround the whole building, the whole neighborhood, the merchants and everything, the grocery stores, all of it is an enemy. But they got to put you in a certain neighborhood and inform the whole neighborhood against you. So it's a collective effort. So you see, I know the whole situation. They've done this 3 times. Now, with that being said, this time I came here, this program kept me here 9 months. Probably some retarded stuff about pregnancy. I know how stupid people trigger. I just do. It's probably 9-month period trying to trigger on baby stuff. Retarded stuff, right? Okay. But the last time I got an apartment less than 3 months. What's the odds that it takes 4 times the time that it took the last time? I got the apartment less than 3 months. So it was like 2 months and some change. That's like 9 months. 4 times 2 is 8. This is 4 times the time I had to wait. Why is it so long abnormally? And it's not even a drastic difference in time measurement. It's not like 3 years later, it takes 9 months. I don't believe that. It's nothing in the economy that would command them to take 4 times as long as they did the first time. So this time around, I had more reputation as a spiritual warrior. You know, America's been playing with me, right? So I got an apartment in 2021. I applied for this one in 2025, right? So now I got more reputation and they're more angry and they're more mad and everything like that. So this is the reason why. I'm explaining this because this is the reason why they kept me here for 9 months. Okay? I had all these situations in the building where I was next door to somebody and I had to call the police on the person twice, right? They kept the person up there, which gave me, obviously, an understanding of their position. Okay, if I call the police on somebody 2 times and you keep him right by me, keep him right there where I'm at, you're hoping something happens. That's what it is. And that let me know the intention of this building. I'm smart enough to know that. You put him there in the first place, and then when I called the police on him, you didn't move him because you wanted something to happen. Okay, that's common sense. Okay, so then I removed myself and went to another room, and that's why I'm in this room, right? I did that. It was my efforts, right? So once I got in this room, I was already working on going somewhere else to another agency that can offer housing, right? So I found a place. I found a place on a Friday. I finished the paperwork on a Monday, right? I got an interview on a Tuesday, right? What's the odds that the place I've been sitting in for 9 months calls me for an apartment the same day I have an interview for the second place? Now out the blue, after 9 months, they call me saying, yo, we got a house, we got an apartment for you. Would you believe that? You've been waiting for 9 months. You know they've been setting up these buildings on purpose. Put all of it together. They've been setting up these buildings on purpose. That's facts, right? I already know that. Okay, so then when I decide to go to another organization the same day, it's not even on a Monday. I can see if it was a Monday. It was an off day. It was a Tuesday. So what's the odds that on a Tuesday, you call me out the blue? I haven't talked to this caseworker the whole time I've been back in New York, which is 9 months. I haven't talked to her or seen her in 9 months. She calls me out the blue to get an apartment when I go to another place to get an apartment. So why would she do that? So that I would stay on the grid of an organization or going to one of these other places where they can still play games, psychological games. Because if I go to another place, they can't do it. So then that's why the only reason they stepped up and offered it to me. So that, not because they care, because they want me to go to another building like this. where they can put me under surveillance and play games, and the whole neighborhood is a game. If I go to another organization, you can't do it. Not as easily. So you got another place for me to go to, so you can play the same game. You see what I'm saying? I seen you do it 3 times. I count 1, 2, 3 times. This would have been 4 times. I'm not gonna do it. That's strike 3 and you out. I seen 3 different facilities. The first apartment, Jamaica, Queens, and right here. That's 3 places over the span of 4 years that I've seen that they intentionally put me in 3 buildings, 3 facilities that was intentional psychological guerrilla warfare with the whole community. In each one of them, every one of them, 3 different neighborhoods, all psychological and guerrilla warfare. Why would you think when I call another organization, the same day I get the interview for another organization to give me housing, they call me out the blue after 9 months of just waiting, and all they was doing was playing games. But now you know, okay, but all you was really doing is waiting long as you possibly could. So now we can't wait no longer. Now we got to try to give him another place where we was going to send him anyway, where he would be on another grid like this, with guerrilla warfare and the whole building used against him. So I said no. I turned it down because I know what it is. And so we gonna get revenge. I'm already fasting against Hasa as a whole organization. I'm on the spiritual fast against them anyway. I've been on the spiritual fast against them, I think, for like 2 years. Listen, I don't play no games. I've been fasting against Hasa for a couple years now. I ain't never slipping, bro. See, my motto is, if as soon as I see you an enemy, I'm getting to work. That's it. It's nothing else to talk about. That's just how I move. So whatever misfortune that Hasa got is probably because I'm fasting against them, and God has honored me with that fast. Yeah, I've been fasting against them for at least about 2 or 3 years. Going on 3 years, something like that. So, once I seen for sure, through the situation right here, for sure, I'm like, why would I choose an apartment from them? Why would I do that? You know what I'm saying? So that's done. Now, the other place requires that this place refer me to them. Which means they're probably the same thing too. It's all the gay community all together. They probably told them the same lies they heard. And they really don't care about helping me at all either. See how it works? Because by the time I talk to the